Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So I'm going to start this series, and I'm going to have these videos show up on the weekend. And basically what I want to do is I want to let you guys see exactly what I'm buying and selling in my Robinhood account. Now, just to be super transparent, I do have other accounts, but Robinhood is my main account where I do most of the action. You'll see more buy and sells. And it's geared towards long term. I'm trying to have a good balance of options, buying and selling, cash secured puts, just a nice mix of everything with a focus on long term. So no day trading in this account. But let's go over everything that I did for this week. And one major learning life lesson, stock market lesson, that I want to let you guys all know, and I actually fell into this trap this week, and I'm still relatively new. I do have some time in the market, and I do have some experience, but one thing that I struggle with is holding on to cash. So anytime there's an available balance in my Robinhood account, or I sell a cash secured put and I end up collecting the premium, I take all that money and I plow it right back into the market, into stocks that I believe in long term. So my thinking was, if there's money sitting on the side in cash that's losing value, I might as well put it to work, put it in a stock that I think is going to go up. And that is, that's a good strategy. That makes sense, right? You don't want, because the dollar is always going down, so you want to have it being used for something, some type of investment. The problem is, if you are all in on different stocks, and you don't have any cash sitting on the side, you can't take advantage of big drops in the market. So what happened this week, obviously stocks sold off. Everything sold off. There was a market-wide sell-off. So unfortunately, I was not able to take advantage of some of these big dips. So for instance, there was a couple mornings where big, good, safe companies like Apple and Tesla, they started off in the red. They dropped in the very beginning of the trading hours, and they climbed back up towards, their regular range the day before in the after hours. So that would have been easy money. You buy it as it's going down, and I don't suggest going all in at any one point. You kind of want to average your way into it, because if it continues to fall, you continue to get a better deal. But if I had cash on the side, I could have put that money to better use in some of the stocks that are falling in the short term that I think will go up in the long term. Because basically everything is on sale in the market. You see a company that you've been watching, looking for a good price, but they're a little bit overpriced, the price of the stock is too high for you, then you get lucked out with a big correction and you can't take advantage of it because you don't have any cash on the side. So this week for me was a rebalancing of the portfolio, trying to save some cash, leave it on the side, because I believe that there will be more of a sell-off in the near future. But anyway, so let's just get to it. Let's start with the stocks that I bought. So I bought more shares of Prospect Capital Corporation. They are a REIT, and you can see that there's just a nice steady increase over the last year. There's the dip, obviously, where everything dipped. This is a real estate company. The reason why I have shares of this stock is because it gives off monthly dividends. So it's a nice cash flow. And what I do with those dividends is I reinvest it right back into the company. It's cheap. There's $7 per share, and it's just going to continue to grow over the years. Unless something happens to this company, or if there's a huge downturn in the real estate market, I will hold on to this company for the long term. It's a good dividend, and I like that they pay out monthly. So that's the first one. Again, this is not a very interesting stock. It's not going to move quickly, but it's a nice, stable stock. So that was the first one. The second stock that I bought is Desktop Metal. And you can see there's a huge sell-off, and I actually was able to capitalize on this one. I already have shares of Desktop Metal, but I was able to average down. So the reason I believe that this company is good is that in the long term, it will go up, obviously. Desktop Metal is a 3D printing company, and they use metal, so it's not like 3D plastic, the traditional 3D printers you could buy at like Walmart or anything. They 3D print metal components, so they work with a lot of car companies and manufacturing companies, and I feel like this technology will be very useful and needed in the future. So I bought more shares of Desktop Metal. So that's it for the stocks that I bought. Again, like I said, I was not in a heavy cash position, so I wasn't able to take advantage of everything that the market had to offer. That's my fault. It's a learning lesson. Stocks that I sold now, I sold off part of my Wynn Resorts position. And again, in an effort to hold some cash and not continue to ride up and down the waves of volatility, I sold out of some of my Wynn Resorts. I still do hold shares because I believe that as the market comes back and as people are traveling, Wynn Resorts will become more popular. They have a ton of cash on their balance sheet, and I think it's a pretty safe company overall, but I just think that they've been moving very quickly, very recently, and I wanted to lock in some of the profits that I've made with Wynn. Similar to Wynn, the next stock that I sold this week was Upward. Basically the same situation. I feel like they moved up quick. They had they took advantage of the whole stay-at-home. But as people start to resume their normal lives and travel becomes more popular, I think that we might see a dip in the short term. I didn't sell out all of my position because I do believe that Upwork will be crucial for the future. But again, I wanted to lock in some of my profits, and I wanted to take some of the money that I freed up and buy Desktop Metal. So the next stock that I sold was American Airlines. Same story. I still hold the shares. I just wanted to sell out part of my position, lock in some profits, use that money to put back into another company that I see value in the long term. I think that American Airlines is going to do very well for this year and next year as the world starts to reopen. So the next stock, Rocket Mortgage. So this is an interesting one. I held shares. I lost them all. So what had happened was I was selling cash secured puts against Rocket Mortgage, which means I was bullish on the stock. I thought it was going to go up. And there was a correction a couple weeks ago, and the stock went down. I was assigned 100 shares. So I held on to the 100 shares, and I've been selling covered calls against them. So still collecting weekly premium. You don't get as much from covered calls as you do from cash secured puts, but I was protecting myself and taking that premium and putting it to other stocks. Anyway, so Rocket had good earnings numbers, and they announced that they will be giving a special dividend. So $1 for every share that you own. I believe it's before March 6th. So that news made Rocket run up, and I was eventually assigned my shares, which means I lost those shares. I got paid for them, obviously, but the shares had to be sold. So now with that great dividend, but the dividend, the $1 per share dividend that they are going to be giving to shareholders after March 6th, that's a great incentive, and I'm considering buying back in. So I may buy back into it. Like I said, my whole position was assigned, so I lost the shares. But I believe next week I will buy back in. So maybe this was a little long, but I wanted to share with you guys what was going on in my portfolio so you can keep up to date. Maybe I give you some ideas on what you can do and what I'm doing. Again, this is not financial advice. You guys do what you feel best. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas and options that you can do in your own account. If you like this, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you could. Let me know in the comments below if you like this type of video. Let me know if you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. And I will be making another video probably the next day or so, explaining what I plan on buying in the market next week. So, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.